Hey everyone, Hassan here. Welcome to the world of Ha. Today I got another Power Rangers Dino Charge review for you. We got more 5-inch figures. The 5-inch figures are my favorite part of the toy line because it's like the actual figures, you know, Power Ranger figures. It's really cool. Except now, we're getting lots more villain figures, which is really cool as well. I'm excited about these because they're all so unique and fun and really interesting looking. So this is the first wave of villains that you have here. We've gotten some villains already. You know, we've gotten Fury, we've gotten the Vivix, we've gotten some of the villains already. But now we actually have, like, a whole wave of villains, you know, more of the monsters of the day, some of the other special monsters as well. So this is wave 1 right here of the villains, so like just a wave of villains. And you'll see you have a couple different ones. You have the villain Ice Monster, which in the show was named Ice Age, so I don't know why they went with Ice Monster. I think the rest of the names are accurate, but for some reason this one they went with Ice Monster. But it looks really cool just in the package, and I'm really excited to open this one up. But they all will say villain right there, but otherwise same standard packaging. And then the back has a little bio as well, so you can pause the video and read that right there. But that's a little promo image like from the show of the villain, and then it shows you all the different figures. So I've done a review of the Dino Drive figures as well as the Gold and Graphite Rangers, the Terra Charge Megazord figure, and then you'll see, so there's a whole bunch of villains here. Half of these are wave 1, the other half are wave 2. Yes, I know some places already have wave 2. My stores don't have them yet, but I will review them as soon as I get them. Then we have the villain Puzzler, which this is one of my favorite designs of the season so far for a monster of the day. I just think it just looks so interesting looking. It's just so unique and really cool, so I'm excited about this one. I'm glad that they made a figure out of it. And there he is right there from the show, and a little bio of him right there, so you can pause the video and read that right there. But pretty cool, pretty cool. Then we have Wrench. So he's not a monster of the day, but he's one of Sledge's crew right here. And so we see him a bunch on the show, but it's great that we actually have a figure. In fact, they're making figures of a lot of Sledge's crew, except for Poisandra so far. Hopefully down the road we get a Poisandra figure. It would be a shame that, you know, we miss out on her and we get everybody else. That would really be disappointing. So Bandai, please make a Poisandra figure. But until then, we got a whole bunch. We got Curio as well, who is Poisandra's friend or whatever on the show. So we do have Curio, at least. And it even mentions Poisandra in his bio, but we still don't have Poisandra. And then we have Bones as well. And it's really cool because like these villains, at least for me, they're so memorable in the show. Like I can see these villains and I remember the episodes that they were in, you know? They have such memorable monsters this season. Like I recognize all of these villains. You know, I can go back to past seasons, people will show me villains and I'll be like, who is that? I won't remember. But I feel like so far in Dino Charge, a lot of the villains have been very memorable. And I recognize all of these. The monsters of the day is everybody. So it's really cool that we get figures of these as well because they're so unique and special. But anyways, enough talking. Let's get these open and take a look. Alright, so I got the figures out of the packaging. Here they are, and they look great. They look really cool. So let's get to them one by one. So we'll just go left to right here. So we have the Ice Monster, or Ice Age on the show. This is probably one of my favorite ones. Maybe my favorite of the 5, I think. I think he's my favorite of the 5 because he looks really cool. And has a decent amount of articulation as well. So just to give you an idea, like look at that, man. They're all so unique. You know, all of these molds are so unique and it makes them all just really interesting, definitely. So that's just props to Bandai, you know, on doing all that. I mean, if you just kind of like look at them and just see the incredible amount of detail on all of these figures, like look at the unique head sculpts and everything. That just looks fantastic. Just all the detail right there on the legs and everything. Such great detail. Really, really nice. And they use some nice paint on these too, you know, like shiny little blue right there. You got some paint there. These things look great, the blue as well, and the shoulder pads are also nice and shiny as well, which is pretty cool. So yeah, just some great detail all around on these figures. Definitely really, really nice. As far as articulation goes, so the head moves left and right. The arms will rotate all the way around. They can also twist all the way around as well. So that's nice. And yeah, they move, up and down. They can bend at the elbow there. So plenty of arm articulation, which is great. And it just feels really nice because you can really pose it in whichever way that you want with these massive like claws that this guy has, which is really cool. Then the legs can move apart a decent amount, move forward and back a little bit. He does also have knee articulation, which is great, so you can bend at the knees, and no feet articulation or anything. But that's a decent amount of articulation for this really unique villain figure, and that's why he's one of my favorites of the 5, at least here, because it's just such a cool design, but you can also pose him in plenty of different ways that you want, just because of the articulation that he has. So really neat, really neat. I dig it. So that is the Ice Monster, aka Ice Age. So that's that. All right. Then we have Puzzler. And this guy is, I'm slightly disappointed with him in that, like, he's kind of limited in their articulation. Plus, this little flag that he has here does not stay in place. It just slides through. It really does not have a good grip. So you kind of have to, like, get it to stand properly by like balancing it against the table or something, but it's just kind of annoying. It just kind of gets in the way a little bit. As far as articulation goes, the head, this is all like one piece right here. So the arms rotate back like that and then forward like that, but there's no elbow articulation, no hand articulation. The legs, he can do the splits and stuff, and he can kick forward and back a decent amount. He can bend at the knees as well, but that is about it. Plus the feet, looking at the feet, this foot is slightly like off center a little bit. So like if I were to just have his knees straight without being bent, this foot is slightly like off the ground a little bit, so sometimes it gets a little hard to balance. So I sometimes have to bend the knee a little bit, like it's just a little bit off. Although right now it seems to be okay. It was being a little picky a little while ago. But as far as the looks goes, he looks great. I mean, just look at the face right there. Just looks awesome. The teeth and everything. Really cool. I like the little, the arrow, like you're starting the maze there. I wonder if you could actually like follow through. I've never even tried. Let's see. If you go here and then, no, I'm not gonna do that. That would take forever. You got the little design right there. Yeah, just really cool. I mean, down when you get to the bottom of the feet, they kind of like stopple the paint and all that, but it's still good enough. It's kind of weird looking from the back, but from the front, just looks really nice. And then the actual goal post, that's what it looks like there. So yeah, this figure is decent. I think he looks really cool. But I wish there was slightly more articulation, like in the arms, like if you could rotate the arms or do something. That's, about it. Not much more there, but it's still a pretty decent figure. And it looks great. Definitely looks great. All right, then we have this guy right here. So let's zoom in and take a look at him. Yeah, so really nice, again, just details on these guys. They all are unique molds for each villain, which I'm sure, is challenging for Bandai to have to create all these unique molds, so props to them for doing that. He also comes with this little axe right here. Pretty basic. This figure, isn't anything super special, but, it serves its purpose. It's decent enough. As far as articulation goes, so the head does rotate all the way around and moves up and down a teeny bit. The arms do rotate all the way around and, out to the sides as well. You can bend at the elbows. There's no hand articulation. It's all one piece right here. The legs can move apart, and move forward and back a little bit, but there's no knee articulation. It's all one solid leg piece right there. But the foot does rotate, like turns a little bit like that. So there's a teeny bit of foot articulation. So with this figure, I kind of wish there would be a bit more leg articulation, like at the knee. That would make it much better, but it's still pretty decent as is. And I do wish I could kind of rotate this piece of the arm a little bit, because otherwise the axe has to be straight like that. Otherwise I can't like You know, you can kind of do that, but, you know, it's okay. I just wish I could rotate it a little bit more. You know, little nitpicks, but still really nice figure. Definitely cool to have this unique mold, so I'm happy about it. Then we have Curio right here. This one is probably my least favorite of the 5. The design itself I was never really a fan of, and just articulation-wise, it's very limited. There's a whole lot limited with this guy. He does have his little watering thing, whatever. But zooming in, they did do a decent job at least making it such a unique mold. He's got his creepy looking face right there, and just some nice details all around just to make it look really unique and special. Like the details on the legs there. Even the whole back piece has got so much detail on it, which is really cool. You know, they tried to really, usually the backs of these figures doesn't look that good, but they tried to go all the way around on this guy, which is nice. So as far as articulation and stuff goes, the head does rotate all the way around. The arms rotate forward, but they can't move back because of the cape or whatever you want to call it. So that's really all they can do. The hands don't, or actually, no, sorry, they do rotate, but like just the hand itself. The arm does not rotate or anything, but you can move it up and down, and the hand rotates. And the legs can move kind of all the way around like that. It's like on a ball joint of sorts right here, but that's about it. The feet are tied onto this piece. It's one solid piece right here, so very limited in articulation, and the watering jug here just kind of, it doesn't sit in place completely, like it just kind of hangs off a little bit. So I wish they would have had a tighter, you know, grip right there, which would have made it a little bit better. So yeah, you know, it's an okay figure. I mean, they did a decent job at like how it looks compared to how he is on the show and everything, which is great. But I'm just not a big fan of the character, like his look, and the articulation is also kind of limited. And then we have Bones as well. So Bones is pretty cool looking, very intricate design here, very intricate. So if we zoom in, I mean, just look at that sculpt right there. Look at that face. I don't think I ever paid that close attention to his face on the show even, but the toy really, you know, makes it something special. Really cool just design. Lots of like horns and skull pieces and stuff all over, which is really interesting. And you got all this yellow on here as well, just all these bones and everything. Very fitting for his name. There's the back of it right there. Yeah, really cool just overall. Really cool design. And he has the little jug right here, which the pot can come off. He can't really hold it because there's nowhere else for this peg to really go on him that I can see, unless I'm missing something. So really it just goes on or off. That's really your only options here. But, you know, it looks pretty cool with him like there because he can kind of have his hand on it like that. As far as articulation goes, so the head turns a little bit, but that's about it. The arms move up and back and to the side as much as this shoulder piece can allow. And so they kind of rotate, but like the arm itself doesn't rotate. This is all one piece here. So it would have been nice to be able to rotate the arms a little. The hands are also closed fists, so he cannot hold anything. He cannot rotate like here. This is all one solid piece. And the only thing is the legs right here can rotate like that. That's about it. So limited in articulation, definitely, but a very intricate design and really stands out and looks pretty cool. So yeah. So these are the new figures, and I think they all look really nice. Just for comparison's sake, you know, I'll throw in Fury right here, and I'll throw in the Vivix as well. And I feel like, you know, I can't remember exactly on the show height-wise, but it seems like Fury is slightly like shorter than some of these other figures and stuff. You know, I would have thought he would be a little bit taller, but maybe I'm just, you know, I can't remember exactly on the show how they compare. But he looks great with all these guys. I mean, it's really cool to have this whole army of villains, and I can't wait to get Sledge and all the others as well. It's going to make him look really cool. Because, I mean, you know, like with any of these villains, you can really have them as if they're fighting the characters on the show, you know? Like I can have Wrench over here with his axe, and he's ready to chop down, you know, the Gold Ranger right here, you know, like I can have them like posing and having a whole battle scene. And now I can even have like each Ranger fighting a separate villain or something. Like you can make such cool, you know, scenes and stuff with all these villains, which is great. But not only that, you know, I can imagine, like, let's say they're fighting these monsters, right? Like maybe the Ice Age or whatever grows big, you know? Well, now we have 5-inch Megazord figures as well, right? So Ice Age can now fight, if I can get him to stand, the Dino Charge Megazord, you know? Now, granted, the Megazord figure, you know, is lacking in paint and doesn't look the best, but, you know, it's still cool that we have Megazords, Rangers, and villains all on the same scale. That is awesome, and I really do like that they're doing that, because it just allows for a lot of different play opportunities and display opportunities, and it's just really cool all in general. So Bandai, props to you for doing this. I'm a fan of these figures, and I think they're great, and I cannot wait for more 5-inch figures. These are my favorite part of the toy line, so I highly recommend these. As always, go get the 5-inch figures. If nothing else, the 5-inch figures are worth collecting. So that's my review. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you later. If you enjoyed my review of these 5-inch villain figures, get ready, because I'm going to be trying to collect the rest of the villain figures. So we got Sledge, we got Spellbinder, we got the Vivazord, we got Slammer, and what else we got? We got Stingrage. So a whole bunch more villain figures on the way as well, which I'm really excited to collect. So stay tuned. As soon as I get those, I will be doing a review of those, and more Dino Charger reviews as well. I've reviewed a whole bunch of the ones here, but I got a whole bunch more Series 2 and others to review as well. So get ready. If you haven't subscribed, got a whole lot of Dino Charge goodness coming your way, so definitely get ready. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you later.